Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Radhe Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining this morning. Welcome class and attended Japa. We'll make a start. Thank you so much. So we've been talking about that Lord Krishna is everything. We had 2 sessions of that. To be honest, we can have as many sessions as possible. because Krishna is everything and there's so many things he can be. So now we're looking at that Lord Krishna is the cause of all causes. This is how we understand things. Something happens, then there is always a cause of that thing happening. There's always a cause. It's even a cause of the Big Bang theory. Is scientists believe that the Big Bang theory brought about everything, the universe, all the creation. Well, there's a cause to that as well, which they never talk about. So it's mentioned that transcendental knowledge regarding the soul and the super soul includes knowledge of the phenomenal world and basis of its creation. So we only find this information of the cause in transcendental knowledge. In the phenomenal world, three things are factually observed by any intelligent man: the living beings, the manifest world, and the ultimate control over them. The intelligent man can see that neither the living entity nor the phenomenal world are creations of chance. The symmetry of creation and its regulative actions and reactions and how everything is perfectly placed suggests that plan of an intelligent brain behind them. Excuse me. And by genuine inquiry, one may find out that the ultimate cause with the help of one who knows them factually. So you have to approach a spiritual master who can explain to you uh, how everything works, what is the cause of all causes. So let's do a quick prayer. Mukam Karoti. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Namyate Girim Yat Kirpata Vande Shri Guru Dev Dharanam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishram Hari Om Tat Sat. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiriyat Nasta Praye Ishab Avadarishu Nityam Bhagavat Sevya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Nestiki. So we'll continue. Sukdev Goswami recounts a discussion. So Sukdev Goswami is talking to Maharaj Parikshit, Bhashmir Bhagavatam, and he recounts a discussion between Brahma and Narad Muni, his son, where Narad Muni asked Lord Brahma that he has heard that prior to creating, O Father, you performed great penance. I therefore wonder if there is someone more powerful than you from whom you derive your knowledge and power. Because although Brahmaji is considered the creator, but Naradji is asking that you were meditating on somebody, you did a lot of penance. So who is that person that you were meditating upon? So is somebody actually higher than you? Because we always thought that you were the highest. So he says, my dear father, what is the source of your knowledge? Under whose protection are you standing? And under whom are you working? What is your real position? Do you alone create all entities with material elements by your personal energy? So it was known to Sri Narad Muni that Lord Brahma attained creative energy by undergoing severe austerities. As such, he could understand that there was someone else superior to Brahmaji who invested Brahmaji with the power of creation. Therefore, he asked all the above questions. Discoveries of his progressive scientific achievements are therefore not independent. The scientist has to attain the knowledge of a thing already existing by means of the wonderful brain made by someone else. A scientist can work with the help of such an awarded brain, but it is not possible for the scientist to create his own or similar brain. Therefore, no one is independent in the matter of any creation, nor is such creation automatic. So there's always a cause for everything. The question may be asked why Narji was not aware of the Supreme Lord and why he misconceived Brahmaji to the Lord, to the Supreme Lord, although factually he wasn't. So a liberated soul is never bewildered by such a mistaken idea. So why did Nandi ask all these questions just like an ordinary man with a poor fund of knowledge? So there was such bewilderment in Arjun as well, also, although he is eternally the associate of the Lord. Such bewilderment in Arjun and or in Narad takes place by the will of the Lord, so that other non-liberated persons may realize the truth and knowledge of the Lord. So if these people who are self-realized and so exalted, they know all the answers, well, they don't ask any questions. So how will we learn that we are not exalted, we are not at that high level? So how will we learn? Because they'll say, yeah, so like I know the answer anyways, it's fine, I don't need to ask the question. But they ask the questions on our behalf, so the ones who don't know can also know. The doubt arising in the mind of Narji about Brahmaji's becoming all powerful is a lesson for the frogs in the well, that they may not be bewildered in misconceiving the identity of the personality of Godhead. So the Supreme Lord is always the Supreme. And as we have tried to establish many times, no living beings, even up to the standard of Brahma, can claim to be one with the Lord. One should not be misled when people worship a great man as God after his death as a matter of hero worship. There were many kings like Lord Ramchandra, the king of Ayodhya, but none of them are mentioned as God in the revealed scriptures. To be a good king is not necessarily the qualification for being Lord Ram, but to be a great personality like Krishna is the qualification for being the personality of Godhead. So if we scrutinize the characters who took part in the Battle of Kurukshetra, we may find that Maharaj Yudhishthira was no less a pious king than Lord Ramchandra. And by character study, Maharaj Yudhishthira was a better moralist than Lord Krishna. So Lord Krishna asked Maharaj Yudhishthira to lie, but Maharaj Yudhishthira protested. But that doesn't mean that Maharaj Yudhishthira could be equal to Lord Ramchandra or Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna, the great authorities have estimated Maharaj Yudhishthira to be a pious man, but they have accepted Lord Ram or Krishna as the personality of Godhead. So the Lord is therefore a different identity in all circumstances. So if somebody is a great person, is a great personality, is very moralist, even very strong, that doesn't necessarily make them God. And because God is God and there is no other God. And no idea of anthropomorphism can be applied to him. The Lord is always the Lord, and a common living being can never be equal to him. Now then Lord Brahmaji replies to Nag Muni's question. He says, I create after the Lord's creation by his personal effulgence, known as the Brahmjyoti. Just as when the sun manifests its fire, the moon, the firmament, the influential planets, and the twinkling stars also manifest their brightness. So Lord Brahmaji said to Narad that his impression that Brahmaji was not the supreme authority in the creation was correct. Sometimes less intelligent men have the foolish impression that Brahmaji is the cause of all causes. But Narada wanted to clear the matter by the statements of Brahmaji. The supreme authority in the universe is Lord Krishna. As the decision of the Supreme Court of a state is final, similarly, the judgment of Brahmaji, the supreme authority in the universe, is final in the Vedic process of acquiring knowledge. As we have already affirmed in the previous verse, Naradaji was a liberated soul. Therefore, he was not one of those less intelligent men who accept a false god or gods in their own ways. He represented himself as less intelligent and yet intelligently presented a doubt to be cleared by the supreme authority so that the uninformed might take a look or note of it and be rightly informed about the intricacies of the creation of the creator. So he was asking questions for us. So here Brahmaji clears up the wrong impression held by the less intelligent and affirms that he creates the universal variegatedness after the creation by the glaring effulgence of Lord Shri Krishna. Brahmaji has also separately given this statement in the Samhita known as the Brahma Samhita, where he says, I serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead Govinda, the Primeval Lord, whose transcendental body effulgence, known as the Brahmjyoti, which is unlimited, unfathomed, and all pervasive, is the cause of the creation of unlimited numbers of planets with varieties of climates and specific conditions of life. And the same statement is in the Bhagavad-Gita. Lord Krishna is the background of the Brahmjyoti. In the Nirkuti or Vedic dictionary, the import of Pratishtha is mentioned as that which establishes. So Brahmjyoti, Brahmano hi Pratishtam. So the Brahmjyoti is not independent or self-sufficient. Lord Shri Krishna is ultimately the creator of the Brahmjyoti as well, mentioned in this verse here. The effulgence of the transcendental body of the Lord, that's what the Brahmjyoti is. This Brahmjyoti is all-pervading and all creation is made possible by its power. Therefore, the Vedic hymns declare that everything that exists is being sustained by the Brahmjyoti. Therefore, the potent seed of all creation is the Brahmjyoti, and the same Brahmjyoti, unlimited, unfathomed, is established by the Lord. Therefore, the Lord Shri Krishna is ultimately the supreme cause of all creation. Aham sarvasya prabhavo, as he mentions in chapter 10. So, there you are. That explains that Krishna declared in Bhagavad-Gita that he is the cause of all causes. Everything emanates from him. He is the source of everything. And here it's mentioned, Sri Prabhupada has mentioned from different scriptures that Lord Krishna is the source of everything. So one shouldn't expect the Lord to create like a blacksmith with a hammer and other instruments. The Lord creates by his potencies. So he has his powers, his energies everywhere, which do the work under his instruction. He has his multifarious potencies. Parasya Shakti Vivedeva Shuryate. Just as the small seed of a banyan fruit has the potency to create a big banyan tree, the Lord disseminates all varieties of seeds by his potent Brahmjyoti. And the seeds are made to develop by the watering process of persons like Brahma. Brahma cannot create the seeds. This is the thing. But he can manifest the seed into a tree, just as a gardener helps plants and orchards to grow by the watering process. The example cited here of the sun is very appropriate. In the material world, the sun is the cause of all illumination, fire, electricity, the rays of the moon, etc. All luminaries in the sky are creations of the sun. The sun is a creation of Brahmjyoti, and the Brahmjyoti is the effulgence of the Lord. Thus, the ultimate cause of creation is the Lord. So, whatever you take, if you work backwards, you'll find that always you'll end up on the Lord. Excuse me. The five elementary ingredients of creation, the interaction thereof, set up by internal time, and the intuition or nature of the individual living beings are all differentiated parts and parcels of the personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. And in truth, there is no other value in them. This phenomenal world is impersonally the representation of Vasudeva, because the ingredients of its creation, their interaction, and the enjoyer of the resultant action, the living being, are all produced by the external and internal energies of Lord Krishna. This is confirmed in Bhagavad-Gita. The ingredients, namely earth, water, fire, air, and sky, as well as the conception of material identity, intelligence, and the mind, are produced of the external energy of the Lord. The living entity who enjoys the interaction of the above gross and subtle ingredients as set up by internal time is an offshoot of internal potency, with freedom to remain either in the material world or in the spiritual world. So we are the marginal energies of the Lord. In the material world, the living entity is enticed by deluding nescience, but in the spiritual world, he is in the normal condition of spiritual existence without any delusion. So, which means we are right now deluded. The living entity is known as the marginal potency of the Lord. But in all circumstances, neither the material ingredients nor the spiritual parts and parcels are independent of the personality of Godhead Vasudeva. So whether it's spiritual or material, we are always under the control of the Lord. For all things, we are the products of the external, internal, or marginal potency of the Lord, are simply displays of the same effulgence of the Lord, just as light, heat, and smoke are displays of fire. None of them is separate from the fire. All of them combine together to be called fire. Similarly, all phenomenal manifestations, as well as the effulgence of the body of Vasudeva, are his impersonal features, whereas he eternally exists in his transcendental form called Satchitananda Vigraha, distinct from all conceptions of material and ingredients mentioned above. So the Lord has his personal body, but everything else is his energies. So the Vedic literatures are made by and are meant for the Supreme Lord. The demigods are also meant for serving the Lord as parts of his body. The different planets are also meant for the sake of the Lord, and the different sacrifices are performed just as to please him. Now we're talking about going back to Godhead. So we established that the Lord is the cause of all causes, and he's the primary worshipable deity, and he's the primary cause of everything. This is the thing. He's the primary cause of everything, he's the primary worshipable deity. And all the demigods are his parts of his body. And all the sacrifices are performed. Even to the deities, the demigods are to actually please the Yajnapati, Lord Krishna. Now, according to Vedanta Sutra, the Supreme Lord is the author of all revealed scriptures, and all revealed scriptures are for knowing the Supreme Lord. Veda means knowledge that leads to the Lord. The Vedas are made just to revive the forgotten consciousness of the conditioned souls. This is our disease. We forget, we are forgetful. So the Vedas are made to revive the forgotten consciousness of the conditioned souls. And any literature not meant for reviving God consciousness is rejected at once by the Narayana Para devotees. Such deluding books of knowledge, not having Narayan as their aim, are not at all knowledge, but are the playgrounds for crows who are interested in the rejected refuse of the world. So anything which is not useful to get close to Krishna is rejected as garbage. Any book of knowledge, science or art, must lead to the knowledge of Narayan. Otherwise, it must be rejected. That is the way of advancement of knowledge. And there's some worship, mention of the worship of demigods. The supreme worshipful deity is Narayan. The demigods are recommended secondarily for worship in relation to Narayan, because the demigods are assisting hands in the management of the universal affairs. As the officers of a kingdom are respected due to their relation to the king, the demigods are worshipped due to their relation to the Lord. Without the Lord's relation, worship of the demigod is unauthorized, avidhi purvakam. Just as it is improper to water the leaves and branches of a tree without watering its root. So it's pointless watering the leaves and branches, because you won't get any benefit from that. You have to water the roots for the tree to grow and to flourish. Therefore, the demigods are also dependent on Narayan. The lokas or different planets are attractive because they have different varieties of life and bliss, partially representing the Satchit Ananda Vigraha. Everyone wants the eternal life of bliss and knowledge. Now, in the material world, such an eternal life of bliss and knowledge is progressively realized in the upper planets. But after reaching there, one is inclined to achieve further progress along the path back to Godhead, as we have discussed in the previous classes. Duration of life with a proportional quantity of bliss and knowledge may be increased from one planet to another. One can increase the duration of life to thousands and hundreds and thousands of years in different planets, but nowhere is there eternal life. I mean, Lord Brahmaji, he lives for trillions of years, but then still has to come to an end. But one who can reach the highest planet, that of Brahma, can aspire to reach the planets in the spiritual sky, for where life is eternal. So if you can get to Brahmlok, then from there, as we talked about earlier, you can either leave before Brahmaji or you can leave when Brahmaji leaves. You can go with him, or you can leave earlier. But leaving earlier is a little bit more difficult because you have to go through all the different variety of the materials, the subtle and the gross materials. So therefore, the progressive journey from one planet to another culminates in reaching the spring planet of the Lord, Mad Dham, where life is eternal and full of bliss and knowledge. All different kinds of sacrifice are performed just to satisfy Lord Narayan with a view to reach him. And the best sacrifice recommended in this age of Kali is Sankirtan Yajna, the mainstay of the devotional service of Narayan per devotees. So again, because we are in Kali Yuga, we have to bring everything down into Kali Yuga. So what do? Well, we do Sankirtan Yajna. That's the recommendation for us. So thank you so much. Thank you all for joining. Rukmini Mataji, Jai Prabhu, Praveen Prakash Prabhu, Partha Prabhu, Praveen Mataji, Sarveshi Mataji, Sopan Prabhu, and Venkat Prabhu. Thank you so much. And just love to have your say in this. Maybe we can start with Jai Prabhu. Jai Prabhu, what do you make of this?
Yeah, Hare Krishna. I summarize some of the points. So, we start off with Narad Muni asking his father, Lord Brahma, a lot of questions. I mean, first question he asks, what is the knowledge that leads to the truth about the individual self and the super self? I mean, if you look at the purpose of this chapter, it says, knowledge received by submissive inquiries and service to a spiritual master in the line of disciplic succession is more effective than knowledge received in exchange for money. So, I mean, Naraj Muni asks, further questions about the material creation, how it's created, how it's maintained, who controls it, whether Lord Brahma was the creator of the universe, creator of living entities, and so on, where his father received his knowledge from. So, I think he knew that Brahma was performing austerities, and he knew he was getting these information, getting his powers from somewhere. So Brahma confirmed to Narad Muni that he was not the supreme authority in the creation process, and that he creates only after the creation is initiated by the Supreme Lord first. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, is the primeval Lord and is the ultimate cause of all causes. So I think then we talked about the energies. I mean, we talked about energies previous week. So, I mean, living beings are produced by both the internal energy and external energy of the Lord. Bodies created by the 5 elements and also the subtle body, intelligence, mind, and ego. That's from the external energy, and the soul, which is an offshoot of the internal energy of the Lord. So which has freedom to either stay in the material world or go to the spiritual. So Krishna exists eternally in his pure spiritual transcendental form, called Satchid Ananda Vigraha, as you've mentioned. So then I think when we talk about ways of serving and realizing Lord, I mean, one of the ways is the Vedic literature is created and meant for knowing the Supreme Lord. Veda means knowledge that leads to the Lord. Then it talks about demigods, which are meant for serving the Lord as part of his body. The supreme worshipable deity is Narayan, and the worship of demigods is recommended secondary to the worship of Narayan. So we have all different types of sacrifices to please the Lord, the view of reaching the Lord. There's also all types of meditation and whatnot, for realizing the Lord. Austerities, which aim to achieve the Lord as well. Yes, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Thank you for a wonderful explanation there, Prabhu. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. See, a lot of people consider that Lord Krishna is just he's the main is like Brahmjyoti, that he just manifests himself into this form when he comes to this world, and all the others think that Lord Brahma is the creator, and Narayan is the maintainer, and Lord Shiva is the destroyer, like that. So everybody got their own conceptions of this. So so explained here that there are there's the Brahmjyoti, there's demigods, and there's Lord Krishna, and how they are different, yet they're all part of Lord Krishna. This is the thing. So everything starts with Lord Krishna, and then you have the Brahmjyoti, then you have the demigods, and you have the other Purusha avatars, or the Shakti Risha avatars. There's so many other energies and forms, but they all emanate from Lord Krishna, because he is the source of everything. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Swapan Prabhu, would you like to say something? Okay, maybe come back. Partha Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, that's nice. Like all the points are covered by J Prabhu. That's all, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Okay. Rukmini Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Very nice lecture, very nice understanding. And Krishna is saying many times, in this contaminated world, nothing is possible for our human being. So his recommendation is just chant Hare Krishna, and whatever we can do, but it's nothing better than chanting Hare Krishna. So we should obey his order or request. We have to chant Hare Krishna attentively only. That is the main help in this contaminated world.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. That's great. Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, this is the recommendation, and it's like everything we do is a constant reminder that please chant. This is all we ask people: just chant, and never mind big austerities and doing this and that, doing so much fasting and so much meditating, or doing something acrobatics, standing on one toe or something. You don't have to do anything. You just have to chant, and we do find even that much doing that difficult. So it's and we want so much return. We want God. We want this. We want that. But we don't want to give anything. We just want to take. This is our nature. We just want to take. We don't want to give. So,
only Sankirtan Yagna is easy. We don't need anything.
yeah.
Just have a chanting bag, chanting beads, and just sit in a peaceful area, so we can concentrate and just chant pure-minded. That is easiest way Krishna has showed us.
Yeah, but we have problem even doing that, isn't it? We have problem because we have made our life so complicated, and we have like so much network. We have so many. There's so many attractions that even that much is difficult for us to to contribute to give time to.
Yeah, we are wasting our time in useless objects.
Yeah.
So we have to concentrate very hardly, very strongly.
Yes, absolutely. So by doing these classes, then we learn. Now we get more confidence. We get more faith. We get more understanding that look, Krishna is supreme, and listen to what he's saying, and everything around us, how the whole jigsaw fits together. You know, everything is meaningful, everything has a meaning, that everything has a cause, and how it all fits together, and who is the cause of everything. One can keep just putting that into head, because sometimes we hear things, but we think we've heard them, but they haven't really clicked with us. This is why we need to hear again and again, because these things need to click. And when they click, then we say, yes, this is the way, and we get focused in our endeavor. At the moment, we keep hearing, but that's what we're doing. We're just hearing. We're not applying. We're just hearing, because we haven't meditated upon what we've heard. It's, I think, important to meditate on what we just heard. That then it will register. It has to register in our brain, in our intelligence. Then we can convince the mind as well. When in the times when mind causes problems, we can convince the mind to listen. You heard that this is the right way, so please behave yourself, because we have to do this. Very, very important. Because mind is a child, you know, he wants to play, he wants to do things, wants to have fun, wants to have sense gratification. But then he wants to know why. Like a child will say, question everything. What? Why? But why? But why? Then we must have an answer. Why? We have to explain. This is why, and we get the answer here in Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Okay. Parveen Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, then with pranam to everyone. It's nicely everybody's recap. In my head, you know, the invocation from Isopnishad is coming. So is it okay if I say that, Prabhuji? Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Vishishyate. The personality of Godhead is perfect and complete. Because he is completely perfect, all emanations from him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself. Because he is the complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance. So yeah, Lord Krishna, he is everything. So like we talked about the ingredients of creation. So people say, I built this, I built that, but all the ingredients, they come from Krishna only. So everything, all the energies. So it is so nice for, like now I realize, you know, and then we always say, thank you, Krishna, for this, you know, because I don't think I ever realized that now, because in Bhagavad-Gita, we know the sunlight, the moonlight, everything is Krishna. So yeah, I think now we got more gratitude for everything. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Nice to explain. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Okay, Partha Prabhu is saying that Shivindavan Prabhu mentions in all classes of Bhagavatam that reading Bhagavatam and scriptures all is for allowing us to chant properly, and chanting only makes devotion complete. Yeah, wonderfully said. Thank you so much. And Sureshi Mataji?
Hare Krishna, everybody.
Krishna Mataji.
Krishna is the cause of all causes, because Krishna is cause of Brahma and all the demigods, humans, animals, moving, non-moving, living entities, and everything else is by his superior and material nature. He's the enjoyer and proprietor of heaven, earth, spiritual world, universes. In this world, nearly everybody thinks that they are enjoyers and proprietors, one living entity fighting with another country, fighting with another country for the land, which only belongs to Krishna, because he is the cause of causes. But the people are very ignorant. They haven't got knowledge to understand that's why they are fighting. And Krishna is called energetic. Everything is his energy. Krishna is the ultimate source of all energies, superior, inferior energy. That means super soul, and material nature. Krishna is independent. We are not independent, because Krishna is independent because he is the cause of everything. Like living entity, we depend on one another. Example, our eyesight depend on the sun, and the sun is the eye of the Lord. Vegetable depend on the moon to be nourished. Earth depends on rain for vegetation. Rain depend on cloud depend on sea. But Krishna is independent. He don't depend on anything because he is the cause of everything. And that's why it says that Krishna is Parama Krishna Sachidan Vigra Anadiradir Govinda Sapkaran Karanam. Ishvara, it means he's a controller, but it's not other demigods can't be controller, but it says Ishvara Parma, that means he's a transcendental controller. So it makes difference there between Ishwar and the other demigod Ishwar. So he's a transcendental controller, and everything is internal, and he's full of knowledge. All the knowledge comes from him, and he's a primeval Lord. I mean, he was in the past, he's present, he'll be future. When everything will disappear, he's alone will be there. And then he's the cause of causes. Everything goes to him in him, and then everything comes from him. And because he's the cause of causes. So we depend on Krishna and his mercy. And he's the cause of causes. So we must realize that, and we should worship Krishna and try to know him through Bhagavad-Gita. I mean, all the knowledge we'll get it. How we got it? Because Krishna gave us the knowledge in the Bhagavad-Gita in Bhagavatam. So that's how we got knowledge, and we know that Krishna is the cause of causes. Otherwise, we wouldn't have known. A lot of people that don't know who is the cause of everything. They take everything for a granted. They just get up in the morning and then just do things, this and that, but they never realize that somebody is behind this. They forget all these things. Unless you get the knowledge, you won't know. So we are really lucky to know through the Bhagavad Prabhupada. I mean, we wouldn't have known. We read other Bhagavad Gitas, but by purport we can understand more. So it's all to Prabhupada. We are indebted to Prabhupada and all the disciplic succession, and then to our Guru Maharaj and the people who are giving classes, nice classes, then we can learn about Krishna. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you so much, Masti. Thank you. Okay, Prem Prakash Prabhu. Are you there? Okay. Sorry, I just read what you've written. Okay, that's fine. We can do a couple of rounds and let's finish by 9 o'clock because there's form coming out for the Rath Yatra. A date is coming to the house, so let's have a target to finish before 9. Rukmini Mataji, would you like to start first round?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Andaji.
And